Hey everyone, Couch Investor back to another video for you today. So as we end 2022 and go into 2023, I'll be making more of those recap videos about specific companies or about my highest conviction stocks going into 2023, which is obviously the topic of this video. Now make sure to put it in the comments which top 3 or maybe which is your highest conviction stock going into 23. I'm sure lots of you will say Tesla, but if you have other positions, do mention those down in the comments below. So, of course, if you've been following on Twitter, you know that I hold many companies. Now, that said, the top 5 probably make up most of my portfolio, and then the rest is just lower percentages in the portfolio. So the top 3 for 2023 actually make up also a lot of the portfolio. No surprises there. Maybe some of you who have been following the channel for a while already know what those companies are. Now, if you like this type of videos, do hit that thumbs up button and subscribe if you have not. I would really appreciate that. Let's try and end this year on a strong note. And if you want to support me and this channel, do check out the link down in the description and in the pinned comment to get the top 10 best stocks to buy now, or go to full.com/couchinvestor. Make sure to check out all the other links in the pinned comment. So, company number 1 I want to talk about, and it's probably my highest conviction going into 2023. That doesn't mean that the other 2 aren't on par, just this one beats them by just a little bit, and that's Amazon. I surprised you, you thought I would say Tesla, but no, here's the surprise. So it's actually Amazon. Amazon has now become my second largest holding in the portfolio behind Tesla. Now, a company of the size of Amazon is down 50% in the last year. Year to date, it's down 47%. But the main issue probably that a lot of people have with Amazon is that, well, if you look at the free cash flow, it's not a great picture, right? Negative in the last 12 months, negative $26 billion. Of course, we've talked about that in the last couple of videos. They are doing some cost cuts as many other big tech companies are doing. This is why, in my opinion, in my belief, I think that 2023 is the start of a more profitable Amazon, which will obviously boost everything underneath. So free cash flow should be returning to a more positive note. It won't happen overnight, because from negative $26 billion to, well, a positive $23 billion as it was in 2021, it will probably take some time. But return on equity should be going up again. Gross profit margin has been going up. It's now at 43%. And then from a PE standpoint, of course, if the company becomes more profitable and if the stock price doesn't move much, well, from a PE standpoint, 2023 might actually be a good year for investors to maybe top up or just open a position in Amazon. Because if you look at the overall business, and we've seen this a lot of times on this channel, it is still growing, and the most profitable parts of the business are growing faster. For example, AWS grew 27% year over year. Now, of course, it grew much faster before, closer to 40%, but hey, 27% growth year over year, still quite nice there. Advertising services grew 25% or 30% on an FX neutral basis. Subscription services are growing as well. We've talked about Amazon Prime and how that's actually a secret weapon for the company. I believe it's just going to continue to grow and keep those customers using Amazon and Amazon Prime services. Now, of course, the lesser profitable aspects of the business, such as online stores, that still grew 7% or 13% on FX neutral basis. And I repeat myself, as the dollar is weakening a bit, this will certainly help a business like Amazon as well. We have physical store, not really going to touch on that, but third-party seller services, that is growing quite nicely as well, 18% year over year, and this is much more profitable than the online stores segment. We've talked about that in the past as well, because third-party seller services include, well, sellers that are using all the other services that Amazon offers. For example, if you want to promote your product, you're paying more. If Amazon is selling Amazon Basics, well, first of all, they're selling at a loss, and second of all, they're just paying themselves, which just doesn't really make any sense. No advertising input as well. And so that's Amazon for me right now. It's a $900 billion business today. I believe it should be worth in the trillions in the years to come. Well, maybe I rephrase that. I believe it could be worth trillions in the years to come. And that's why going to 2023, with everything that's been happening, I do think that this is my number one pick. Now, going into the number two pick, and that comes at no surprise, number two is obviously Tesla. So Tesla is down 48% in the last year. Same thing year to date. Now, the trend for Tesla, as you can see, revenue-wise, going up. Free cash flow, unlike with Amazon, free cash flow is going through the roof as well, close to $9 billion in the last 12 months. Return on equity, exactly what you want to see, 32% and rising. Gross profit margin, 26% in the last 12 months. So keep that in mind, it's not in given quarter. And then from a PE standpoint, again, from a traditional PE standpoint, yes, it is still expensive, but growing at Tesla's rate, well, the E will just get smaller, especially if the price of the stock does not move on the upside. Now, as most of you know, Tesla is my largest position in my portfolio, over 30% of the portfolio. And next year, again, of course, there are some difficult times. There's still some uncertainties with regards to China, with regards to demand. We have now this recent news or false news with regards to a cut of production remains to be seen. But to me, the fact that they have started to deliver Tesla Semi is groundbreaking. I've said it since the start. To me, the best product, the most exciting product to me was the Tesla Semi, not the Cybertruck, not the Robotaxi, the Tesla Semi. The trucking industry, extremely large and is ripe for disruption. And as we've seen, have you seen this thing? Have you seen the presentation? This looks awesome. And truck drivers, why wouldn't they want to drive something like that? Now again, we have to look at the margins. How much of that will come to the bottom line? Let's wait and see in the coming quarters. But overall, if you look at this summary, right, this is from the last quarter, how can you not be bullish on this company, right? When your free cash flow increases 148%, when automotive revenues are up 55%, total revenue 56%, total gross profit 47%. Of course, quarter over quarter and year over year, there are some mismatches here and there, but overall, the story of Tesla is not done yet. The last 2 years have been extremely weird, not just for Tesla, but for the overall automotive industry, other industries as well. But for a company that, today, most of its business is with regards to cars, it did pretty well. And once we go out of that difficult supply chain environment, do you think that Tesla will be worse off or better off than the others that have suffered way more than Tesla in the last 2 years? To me, it's obvious. And I'm not a huge, delusional Tesla bull that said that everybody's going to buy a Tesla. No, there are other car makers out there that will sell their cars as well. Pretty good ones, pretty nice looking ones as well. Not everyone has to buy a Tesla. But Tesla as a business has higher margins, will sell plenty of cars, good enough for me. Of course, there's all the rest as well. Energy, FSD, insurance, etc. And so that's why Tesla is my number 2 pick for 2023. And now going into the last one, number 3 is another very popular stock, on this channel and in my portfolio. It has grown into the ranks. It's not the number 3 position in my portfolio, which is Square, but it is actually Mercado Libre. So Mercado Libre, this is how it looks like. It's actually held up tremendously in the last year. It's only down, and I say only down because compared to other companies, it's just down 26% the last year, 36% year to date. So if you compare that to the likes of Tesla and Amazon, which are down close to 50%, held up quite nicely, especially in the current macro environment around the world or just in Latin America. Now, revenue-wise has gone up quite well, free cash flow positive and rising, return on equity over 30%, love to see it, gross profit margin over 50%, great, and that's only in the last 12 months. Now, with Mercado Libre, as I've discussed in the past, yes, you could see it as the Amazon of Latin America. And looking at their last quarter, you can see that every segment is performing exceptionally well, even in the current macro environment. We've seen other e-commerce companies and companies that deal with logistics, with advertising, with e-commerce, just plain e-commerce, struggle in the last couple of quarters. With Mercado Libre, as you can see here, and as we've seen in the last video, that's just not the case. It's actually becoming more profitable, which is great to see. Of course, there are still some risks, especially in those markets. But to me, if you want exposure in the Latin American, economies, which in my opinion will grow in the years and years to come. Of course, there are some risks because some governments there are still stuck in the past, but a company like Mercado Libre knows how to perform, especially the management there, top tier management. It's profitable, it's growing, it's just becoming better and better, and it is in every industry that you want it to be: e-commerce, logistics, advertising, credit, you name it. And of course, the fact that its size as a company is just $43 billion, I say just 43 because compared to Amazon and Tesla, it is a tiny one. So if you're looking for that huge investment in the future, depends obviously on the success and execution of the company, but $43 billion to me, if I'm holding it for a long time, and I believe in the success of Mercado Libre, I do think I can have great returns in the years to come. Of course, if you look at past returns, this stock has done tremendously well. Now, past returns does not guarantee future returns, but if they continue the way they're doing right now, it's safe to say to me that I'll be happy with my returns if I hold long enough. So those are the three top picks for me personally going into 2023: Amazon, Tesla, Mercado Libre. Obviously, do share yours down in the comments below. If you enjoy this type of videos, leave it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, maybe hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye.